Welcome to HERcast with Dr. Chito, where we celebrate the strength, resilience, and brilliance of women rewriting the rules and rising with purpose. Today's story is one that will warm your heart and ignite your spirit. It's about dreams that don't expire, about love that uplifts, and about the beautiful intersection of sacrifice and success. Imagine a mother and daughter, both students at the prestigious University of Cape Town, walking across the graduation stage just one day apart. One, a seasoned gynecologist, achieving her long-held dream of a PhD. The other, a passionate young artist, stepping boldly into the world with a Bachelor of Fine Arts. Dr. Rakiya Saidu and her daughter Aisha Yahaya didn't just earn degrees. They built a legacy of love, perseverance, and mutual inspiration. From late nights and shared shuttle rides to emotional support and creative collaboration, their journey is a testament to the power of family, determination, and dreaming together. This episode is called Pushed by Purpose, Held by Love, a mother-daughter story. Get ready to be inspired. Welcome, Dr. Rakiya. Aisha, welcome. How are you guys doing?
We're fine, thank you.
All the way.
Nice to be here.
I know you're 1 hour ahead and all that, and I know Cape Town, I heard, is a beautiful place. I have to come to Cape Town.
Yes, you have to come. It's always the top 10 most beautiful places on the planet.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
I definitely have to come. Graduating just one day apart is incredibly rare. To graduate your mom is incredibly rare and special. What was the moment like for both of you? I mean, anyone can go first.
It's been a very special moment, not just for me, but for the entire family. I mean, for me, it was like, like how many people out there can say I graduated from the same institution at the same time as my mom, and then it's also a PhD that she's been working so hard towards.
I don't know how she did it.
Also, and we've been waiting for this. So I mean, I already did kind of have an idea that we will be graduating at the same time, because there's about 3 graduation slots in a year. So when her work wasn't marked for the September graduation, I was like, okay, we're most likely graduating in March together. And we were planning everything. We're so excited, it's been so exciting, and it's been incredible. Like, I don't even think I have the words to describe the feeling.
How about you, Dr. Rakiya?
Oh, it was really a very special moment. So on the Saturday before the graduation, usually the university holds a lunch. The Vice Chancellor, the Chancellor, and the University Management holds a lunch for the PhDs. So I went with her, and so the VC saw us. He said, "Oh my God, you are graduating together." I said, "Yes." And the Chancellor was also so excited. He said, No, this has to be special. And he told everyone in the hall that, this mother and daughter are graduating together. But it's such an amazing feeling. It's an amazing moment. And really, it was just anything a mother can dream of.
I can't imagine, because I'm a gynecologist myself. So I'm looking at her. After my residency, I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing anything more. This is it. So for her to go in, have oncology, get PhD, I just don't know how you did that. That's super amazing. But how did it help you, though, sharing your bonding? How did it deepen your bond, mother-daughter bond? Didn't it deepen your bond some way, just having this together? Even being in school together, most times the daughter's in school, the mom is the one following the daughter and following. Now 2 of you are in it together. How did this deepen your bond?
So for me, it really deepened that bond because, there's as you said, usually it's like parents at home or at work, and then a child at school. So, and then we're able to share, similar experiences of oh my God, did you get this email about this and that happening?
Wow.
Or that relatability. And then there was also that kind of crossover of our work sometimes, because we were discussing how art and medicine have overlaps frequently. And, one of the tests I remember doing was when I used this X-ray paper to do some photography. And so it kind of showed us that there was a lot of intersection and a lot of relation between things that we do, even though they seem wildly separate. And then of course the researching projects together. Like when she travels and she goes to an art gallery, she always calls me to show me the work and to show me the art. And then sometimes we even like look at works together, or like we look at a film or something, and we're like, oh, like, did you see this and that? Here's what we've interpreted, here's what we've thought. So there's this like expansion of creativity that's really happened.
I just love
it was very nice. Yeah, and anytime I travel, and I specifically go to look for art galleries in anywhere. So go to look for art galleries, yes, and then make a video. So I'll go through the whole gallery, making videos. I learned how to read the artist statement and to understand what they meant. I never knew that existed. And even because you hear, because they do a lot of they did this contemporary arts. They did the arts from before time. So then they did African art. So there's a lot of story about art in Senegal. So when I went to Senegal, I went looking for those arts, then took photos. And then for her project, she wanted to work at home. She wanted to work in Kano. So I sent her back. So during the short holiday, she went to Kano, took all the photographs she wanted to take. And I arranged for her. She was in the Emir's Palace, and the Emir very well, and she got lots of photos. It's really amazing.
I love it. But there's creativity in both. I think there's creativity in medicine. Fine arts is full of creativity, but I find that what we do as well in medicine has a lot to do with being creative, especially where you don't have everything in your hand. You have to create something to work. And I think that also helps our creativity. I love the arts. I love it passionately. There must have been moments of exhaustion, just being tired. And I know, like I said, for you, it's your first degree. There are going to be points during the journey, we all went through it, that sometimes it's so hard. Or you're thinking, am I really doing this right? And you want to do it the best way you want to do it. And then for your mom, on a different level, you're still mom, with all the other things going on. I told her, like, she's a gynecologist, specialized, and going for a PhD, and just trying to live your dream. There must have been moments where you're like, can I do this? And, how did you get yourself over that hump? How were you able to push yourself through those times of exhaustion and not give up?
So for me, actually, it was my mom, which is, I think it's not a cliche thing to say, but it was definitely my mom. Because whenever I felt like giving up, I always thought, well, if she was in my shoes, she would not be giving up as quickly, and I also think about how, we're Nigerian, right? Like, we're Nigerian, and Nigerians are not known for giving up easily. So, so I also, I thought about that, and then I was honestly also kept thinking, I've come this far. There's only so much left. I've come this far. The fees have been paid, and I'm already here. So I might as well get to the end and say, hey, I made it through, instead of saying, oh, I started and I left it, So.
And you did it. And you did it. And you did it. How about you, Dr. Rakiya? How did you push yourself through this during times of exhaustion?
I didn't just do it myself. That assistance from the Almighty had to happen, because so the children, there are 3 of them that are with me here, and so one is still in high school. Then the other one, all during that time, finished his own high school, did a certificate course in Islamic studies, and then went on to start doing computer science. So all this were still like just continuing, Wow. And then also I've got super supportive family. Super supportive family who are always there. And I think because of how close I am with my family, even before my dad passed away, I speak with them every day. So when you come back tired, you just talk to the family, then you feel better. So I think also the time we are now, that communication is very easy.
Yes.
So that also helps. Yes. So you don't miss home too much. You don't miss the family too much. But then also here, I got very good support. My supervisor, she's late. She passed away last year. But she was very, very supportive, and the whole department were very supportive. So it was a
I love you, Dr. Rakiya. You're just writing down your gratitude journal. So I will feel that I think this is a very key message that yes, you went through tough times. Yes, you had times of exhaustion, but you looked at the positives. You embraced the positives around your life to get through it, actually.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
Yes.
Because you're just like, this is a gratitude journal. So another I want to ask here. I want to just take individual questions now. So Dr. Rakiya, you once said that dreams don't have an expiration date. I think that's what you said in your article. What gave you to pursue? And I'm hampering on this because I know what I know. What gave you to pursue your PhD later in life? What gave you the courage to pursue your PhD later in life?
Only one person in my life, my father.
Oh.
So my father, he was an Islamic cleric, and as an Islamic cleric, he knows a lot about the religion, and he knows the importance of educating everyone, including women. And based on his beliefs, he encouraged people to take their children to school, both girls and boys, because he always says that when we are asked in Islam to go and get education, knowledge, it was not specified for any gender. Mm-hmm. Everybody must keep getting knowledge. So he made sure that we, particularly the girls, because he needed to set a good example in a society where the female education was not really seen as valuable. So he needed to do that. So I have 3 sisters, so there are 4 of us girls amongst his children. He trained all of us to be doctors.
Wow.
So so the 4 of us are doctors. My elder sister is a physician. Then I'm the gynecologist. My immediate younger sister is a cardiologist, and the last of the girls is a radiologist. So all of them are in Kano. I'm the only one that has been being a nomadic person going from place to place.
Wow.
So he had this dream of trying to get of that. He wishes one of his children to be in the academia, to have a PhD and get to the top of academia, to get a professor. So luckily, my younger sister, the cardiologist, she's a professor of cardiology. Wow. She's in Kano. Then I have done the PhD. So both of us have given him what he always wanted to be. Although he's not here with us, but I'm sure he got the news that those children have given you what you always wanted to. Yes. So he was my pillar of going through all this. And when I was going to start the PhD, and I told him, he was very happy. He was really very happy. So when I first came, the children were with him. It was only after he passed away, and my moms were getting exhausted. So I now picked them up and brought them here, which also happened to be good because now she's able to pursue her fine art. Because many mothers will wonder, why are you allowing your daughter to do fine art? Why are you a doctor?
This is Gen Z. Creativity is the word. You were on point. You were on point.
Yes. So what? My main inspiration is my dad.
Wow.
And he has been my inspiration, and he still inspires me.
Yes.
And I think I thought, no, I can do it. And he always says that you are identified as you. Mm-hmm. When somebody said, oh, she is so person's daughter, or she's so person's wife, it's not you.
Wow.
But if she is she, then that is you. So that is how he brought us up to be. I am me. I'm not. I don't have to be somebody's daughter or somebody's wife to be me, but I am me because of me.
You see, if I wasn't Mike now, I'd have stood up and done this, because we need to hear this. And I think, Aisha, you tell me, how has this inspired you to do what you want to do, and how do you see your future based on what your mom's saying? So how does this inspire you? How does this history impact you? Just knowing this history of your grandfather and what he did for your mom and your aunts and everything. How does that inspire you?
Yeah, where do I even start? The inspiration has been endless, like it's been endless amount of inspiration, because again, just seeing how hard she's worked. I always make, I was making this joke with her the other time that I was like, when African parents said I came first in school,
Yeah.
and I'm like, my mom actually did. So I'm like, well, the thing is, my mom actually did. So
Yeah, because you know that some of us lie, right? Yeah,
so yeah, I always say, well, when African parents say that, for some other parents, you could be like, oh, okay, sure. But I'm like, I've seen my mom's results and she actually did come first. So that's like an inspiration. And then she's always, she's been working so hard. She's achieved so much and she never gave up, and even while here, she was doing a PhD, she was working and taking care of us at the same time. And, sometimes she's going on about how she felt like it was taking too long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we always had to remind her that she's doing 3-4 different things at the same time.
Wow.
And, it's not just straightforward 100% focus on the studies. So then I also, again, found inspiration on the fact that even though she was juggling a lot, she was able to get through.
Mm-hmm.
She always got through. She always
Wow.
persevered. And I think that's like the one thing that really jumps out. And it was definitely that one thing that's always inspired me, because again, whenever I felt like, I'm so tired, I always just feel that so I always just feel, perseverance. That's the one thing I've learned, and that's the one motivational thing I've gotten from my mom and from her family.
Yes.
In general.
Yeah, you have no choice but to succeed. No pressure though. But back to you, Dr. Rakiya. I have to ask you, as a mother, you said of 3, right? As a mother of 3, how did you balance? Because being a parent, to me, as a doctor, I'll tell you that being a parent is the hardest job of it all. People think, being a gynecologist, having all those calls, coming out, working in the hospital at night. Yeah, it's hard. But I think for me, the hardest job is being a parent. Kind of knowing that I'm doing the right thing, I'm guiding the right way. You're dealing with, teenage, dealing with baby, from baby. Every level has its own struggle. And now you have 3 of your kids. You're balancing that. You're balancing academic rigor. You're balancing with financial pressures. I want to know, how did you balance this? I truly want to know how you were able to just balance this and keep your priorities. Because a lot of women worry about this, right? Doing all these things and then being able to balance.
Yeah, so the first thing is that I actually got 4 children, right?
Oh, 4, sorry. 4
so my first child he's in Nigeria because he's big, he's now married, he is working. Oh. So he's back home. Wow. And I'm actually a grandmother. Yeah, I want to say,
okay, grandmother. Oh my goodness.
Yes, he's got a child. So I've got the 3 here. So this the 3 of them. So I think the first thing I would say is prayers. We just have to pray for the children, and especially we all say in these times of social media, the times of technology. So we have to add prayer on top of everything we do. But the other thing is that, I said when I first left to come to South Africa, so actually originally I came to do clinical training. Yes. But so initially the children were with my father. And my moms, I have 2 moms. So my father and my 2 moms, and the house is a strict disciplinarian, but also modern. So they are able to catch all of that. So, and when they came to South Africa, I also kind of just gelled into and added, because I got that same training. So I just added onto that. But the other thing is that I made sure I got a school that it's okay. So it's an Islamic-based school, Islamia College, and it's very good. It's a very good school. And then I also stayed opposite the school, so they only just go across and go into school. And but the other thing is, I never miss any school event.
Yes.
Even if I'll go late, I never miss any school event.
Wow.
I never miss any meeting with the teachers. And from time to time, I write emails to the teachers to thank them for taking care of the children. That motivates teachers. So I took part in everything the children did. And that is why I think I always say that I lost time with a social life. So I don't have one. I have to start creating a social life
Yes.
around myself now.
Yes, you have to. Very important. Very
I have to
important.
start. Yes. So I never had a social life. I missed on functions. And so sometimes I'll just tell them, okay, guys, you know what? I'm not able to come with you, but you can go and go to the beach. So they can go to the beach. And then, but I think I'm very lucky. They are all well brought up, such that they all have my credit cards and they don't spend without telling me.
Wow, good for you. I think my son will buy games all day. I cannot risk via my card. I cannot risk it.
Now they've all got my card on their phones, and then I'll see a call. Please, I want to buy so please, can I buy? I'll say, here, you can buy.
Oh,
so
wow.
You see, I'm lucky in that.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. I think that's really, really good what you've done with them. And this is really, see, I think one of the things we're even saying here over and over again is the power of family. And not just your nuclear family, these extended family, your parents, your grandparents, your aunts. Like the culture we have of family is something that I think when you think of Africa, think of Nigeria, think of just the culture of family that people say, oh, no. It's so important. It's not something you can do without at all, having family. And I always tell people that even when you don't have your own family, connect to a family that you can bond with is so important.
Yes.
So I call it having
allow the community to bring up the child.
Yes.
So you don't get angry if your child does something and your parent or an auntie scolds the child and then you feel bad.
Yes.
No. Allow them to be disciplined when they have to be disciplined.
Very true.
That's the only way, honestly.
Very, very true. So Aisha, back to you, right? You're gonna, as you step into your future as a teacher and an artist, how do you plan to carry forward the lessons of this season? How as you look, because I know this is just the beginning for you. This is your journey, and you have a lot in front of you. So how do you plan? What's your plan? What's your plan for the future? What's your plan of impact?
Okay, so definitely, the first step is becoming a teacher. So I'm training right now to become an art teacher as well. And so I'm training through UCT, but the training allows me to teach art at like any level, and I think that's also very important because the place that I'm also kind of like partially doing my practice at is it's an art center that works with a lot of lower income schools and a lot of schools that are far away that don't have any access to art, or that like live not so nice areas where there's like a lot of gangs and a lot of, rough upbringing. So sometimes the children need that distraction, need to be away from that space. So we also have like satellite schools. So basically where a few of us go out to those areas to teach art there. And I think that's, that's a very important step. So that's definitely like, my main plan, to teach art, or at least show people that, art is that an aspect of themselves that they can still nurture and they can still work with, even if they want to go into other more serious career paths. They can still do art when they want to do art, when they feel like it, because sometimes, again, the art comes through in different ways, right? It comes through in different aspects of life. And that creativity, being able to think outside the box, being able to connect the dots and do all these like extra things. And I think definitely like art, like we've done with my mom. She was focused on a PhD, it was very serious, she was always doing the research and the numbers and the whatevers. But then whenever we had to work on a project together, I'll just come back and like the tabs on her computer, like whatever the art project is on. So, and I found that really gave her a break away from, all the intensity of the PhD work. So I feel like definitely pursuing that art in terms of like teaching it, and also the qualification that I get here allows me to teach not only in South Africa but in other Commonwealth countries. So which is like a way to get to reach people, and I also hope to make my own art. Like do some more projects, maybe continue building on the project that I did in my 4th year. Because I went through like a lot of rabbit holes that I feel like there's different directions the project can still go. So it's definitely not a finished project, and I definitely hope to continue
What project was that?
It was my 4th year final project. So it was a full year project. The project was about actually what started when my grandmothers had to move out of the house they lived in because the government was like expanding a road in the area. So the house and a lot of the houses in the area were demolished, but ours was more like a partial demolition. And then obviously you can imagine that a lot of people have been affected by it. Like our family dynamic also was affected because, it's the one house where everybody comes together, right? In the evenings, all the parents are done at work, all the aunties and uncles, we all come together in this house. So, you kind of get to know your cousins through that, everybody, you become very familiar with the family.
Yes.
And it also just, there's that physical connection. And then even when my mom calls, everybody, you just pass the phone around. Oh, okay, here's super.
Yes. So the memories and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was also I started looking at different things, right, that connected back to the house. So I looked at architecture in northern Nigeria and how the houses are built and how modern houses don't reflect the very traditional ways, or how our current architecture doesn't really use have the weather and our environment in mind, and we just want to copy from Western cultures and other cultures. And then I was also thinking about the motifs and how our houses used to be decorated, and how that again, and then also the materials that were used, very traditional, local, environmental materials that I'm actually thinking about how we could use them now currently. Then I had also thought about the family structure and how it's become a bit different now, as well as the women in the family. And because again, a lot of houses in Nigeria have sections for women where it's very private space. So then I thought about how that private space is kind of disappearing in modern architecture, as well as how, even though it's a very conservative society where women are indoors, it also doesn't mean that women weren't actively participating in the society, in the economy, in the very tangible things in society. So I also wanted to highlight that, as well as just family and being in the same place with people you love. So it was just taking me different directions, and so so that's why I said the project still has a long way to go. But then then I went to Canada last year in June, and I was able to again go to the area of the house itself, take photos of the house and what it looks like, what the neighborhood looks like, seeing my actual family and seeing how they've adapted to having to move out of the house, and then also I went to the new house where they were going to move to. And then I went to the Emirs Palace because I also was doing it was also very research based. So I got that from my mom. So I was getting that kind of research aspect, from my mom, because I was researching, okay, let me go to the Emirs Palace. He's bound to have some of that very old in architecture in his place. So I was everywhere, and I had a little notebook that's just filled, filled with little sketches and drawings and writings.
Wow.
So it's definitely just the start of the project.
So as you're saying this, I'm I would say, Aisha, remember me, because you are obviously going somewhere. You're going to be, just watch out. You're going to be, from what you just said now, I could see the art gallery already. I could see something exploding, because and not only creativity, but impact, culture. I can see you I'm excited because you are the next generation. And just that all this you said is giving, I have goosebumps all over, because I know where you're going. Just remember me where you're going, because you're going to make impact. You're definitely making global impact. I'm not talking about just in Africa. No, global impact. You're taking Africa to the world. You're taking a rich culture, a rich, our core family, everything about who we are to the world. And that's something that I'm just going to applaud you, because I'm excited already. I'm you're talking to me and I'm getting goosebumps. And I can imagine how your mom feels. If I'm feeling this way, imagine your mom right now bursting over, listening to you. It's amazing. So now, Dr. Rakiya, I have to ask you this, because one of my passions it's always been cervical cancer. And I think one of those reasons why we're so passionate about cervical cancer because we know it's one of the most preventable cancers, and yet it plagues our country so badly. So you've dedicated your PhD to improving this area. I think you talked about cervical cancer, if I'm correct, prevention in Africa. What's your vision for impact moving forward? Where do you plan to take this? Because it's one thing that I know we've talked about things are going on, but we're still having this as a major issue. And it's so preventable.
So, it's really sad when it is a disease that we know what to do about it, but it's just that that will to get it done is not there. But I'm glad the will to get it done is now happening in Nigeria.
Yes.
So even though I'm like working from here, but my mind is at home. So luckily, last year the Minister of State for Health launched the task force, and I happen to be in the task force. Okay. And so currently our group is working on making a guideline. So what we need is we just need to come together. We just need to sit together. This one that tomorrow you'll hear an organization has screened 5,000, next tomorrow it has screened 10 people. It will not work. Yes. It is not working. Now, most of these people that are screened, you just screen a woman, but you have not made provision for her to be treated.
Yes.
That's criminal.
Yes.
Yes, you cannot screen a woman without offering her that. So if you know you cannot do both,
don't even screen her. Yes.
Yes, because you are now leaving her hanging. And so what we have to do is we must have a broad population-based screening, not screening done in teaching hospital. No, that's not going to work. Screening must be done in the clinic at the primary care level. That is the only way we are going to reach people. If you keep your screening in teaching hospitals, the woman in the village will not come because she's not sick.
Yes.
So she will not come.
Yes.
Yes, but if you want her to screen, you must take it to her and you must do it for her free. So we must start thinking of how to fund these things. So countries are doing it. In South Africa, cervical cancer screening is free.
Yes.
Any woman from anywhere, once the woman, she's HIV negative, 30 years, she can walk into any primary healthcare clinic and get a screening done. If she's HIV positive, any time of diagnosis, she will start having screening. So it can be done.
It can be.
I'm sure we have the resources, so it can be done.
I also believe
so. We just have to do that. So those are some of the things that with the support of our elders in the profession, we are trying to push forward to Nigeria. We should be at the top of this thing. And Professor Adewale has been very supportive. Dr. Elebute Odusi is also on the team, and she's brought in a lot of her own perspectives that are helping us. And there are many people on the team. The former First Lady of Kebbi State, Dr. Zainab Babudis, is also on the team. So, so it's a very rich committee that is trying to see that this should work. So we are now going to start working with the state governments because it's not at the federal level that is going to be done. It has to be done at the state level because it must be done at the primary care level. Yes. That is where it has to go, and it has to be free. You cannot be asking women to come and pay for screening because they will not do it.
They will not pay because they're not sick. You're not feeling anything, and you're trying to spend money from eating to come and do something they don't understand. What
come and be screened.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
And then it will only happen late.
We did a study once. One of the times I was still doing my residency in the US, we came back and did a study in Nigeria just to see the incidence of HPV in Nigeria. And when we compared it to the study in the US, we found out the incidence of HPV, which is the virus that causes cervical cancer, is the same. But the only significant difference was the screening. And so, yes, if there's a screening program, we'll definitely reduce, and screening and management will definitely reduce, cervical cancer in Nigeria.
Yeah, so, we also are trying to push that we have to use the best tests to use. Just because we are in Nigeria or we are in Africa doesn't mean we should use anything. No.
I agree.
So the team that I worked with here, Professor Lind Denny, the one that I told you passed away, she has been one of the biggest cervical cancer researchers in the world.
Okay.
And it was here in Cape Town, they did that study and found that just looking at the cervix and applying acetic acid does not work as well. So you also, because when you are doing screening, it doesn't just shout and say we are screening. is it reducing cervical cancer and is it reducing deaths from cervical cancer?
Yes.
That is what we must answer. So we must have a proof that this test actually reduces cancer. If we apply it to 70% of our women, then we are going to see a drop in cancer. Then Nigeria should invest, because it's a very beautiful investment.
Yes.
For every dollar you spend on the screening, you are saving many, many more dollars in the next 5 years.
Very, very much so. Very much so. See, this is a mother-daughter impact thing going on, and I think that's amazing. You guys are inspiring me, so I know this will really inspire. I know I have so many more things to talk to you about, but we've come to the end of this beautiful conversation, and I want to ask both of you to answer this last question. What message do you hope your shared story sends to other families, especially mothers and daughters watching this today? I'm thinking of my son who always says, "Mommy, you keep leaving us out." So let me say, and sons.
It's right.
What message do you have? Let me start with Aisha.
From me, I would say definitely just don't let anything stop you from getting there, achieving your dreams, doing what you want to do. And I think what I've also learned is that you don't need to rush things, right? So like when you start something, you feel like you want to give up, or you feel like it's not going at the timeline that you think it's going to go, it's supposed to go. I think it's always good to remember to be kind to ourselves. I find that that's one of the best ways to get things done and to achieve things, because when you're being too harsh on yourself, you break down, and then you just don't feel like carrying on, because when you break down, you're just gone, you're just closed, and then your heart is like, no, this thing's very traumatic, and it's a no. So I feel like definitely remembering to be kind to yourself, and I think also definitely sometimes, I know it can be a bit hard, but not allowing somebody else to like dictate, what you do. Because you can take inspiration from people, and then you can allow people to inspire you, but then also don't, just because somebody says, "Oh, art, there's nothing to do in art, what are you good doing there?" It doesn't mean that there isn't something there. And then as we know, like these days, you can literally make a career out of anything, right? It's not like the before where you had to like go to university, get a specific degree. Now you can get one degree and end up doing another thing. I was just laughing about the fact that someone in my that I knew in university studied drama, and now he's a real estate agent, and I was like that goes like two completely different directions. So definitely, and of course, like the perseverance, just persevering in getting places, and just mother and daughters, we need to be more open with each other, and definitely like a lot of encouragement from each other, supporting each other and encouraging one another definitely goes like a long way.
Wow, amazing. All right, Dr. Rakiya, what's your message to other families?
I'll just quickly wrap up the message, and the message is that for the mothers, if you have a dream, please continue to pursue it. It may take long, but you can get it done. But also for us as mothers to our children, we should not force children to do what they are not capable of doing or they don't want to do. So we should listen to our children and see their capabilities. Some children are not even capable academically to get into that. So let's listen to them. Let's be more open. The times have changed. We need to be friends with our children. So we are still mothers, but we are also friend mother.
Yes.
We are at that level. Give them all the support they need. I think, that should work.
This is amazing. This has been a lovely, lovely time. Thank you so much, Dr. Rakiya. Thank you, Aisha, for just sharing this moment with our HERcast audience. And I know it's going to inspire a lot of people. I can't even wait myself till I watch it again. So this is amazing. This is amazing. But I know that we could have more conversations in the future, for sure. All right. What a beautiful reminder that it's never too late to pursue purpose, and that love, especially between a mother and daughter, can carry us through anything. Dr. Rakiya and Aisha's story shows us how resilience, shared dreams, and mutual support can turn ordinary moments into extraordinary milestones. Here at HERcast, with our tagline, Her Strength, Your Inspiration, we aim to empower you to rise, to live authentically and embrace your greatness. So keep being audaciously you, unapologetically, fearlessly, and beautifully. Listen now on your Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Watch on YouTube, HERcast with Dr. Chito. Follow us at HERcast Podcast and at Dr. Chito N. Catch us on TV Startimes Rapid TV Channel 176 on Saturdays at 7 p.m. and Sunday 2 p.m. Until next time, I'm Dr. Chito. Live boldly, lead with heart, and keep pushing for the change you want to see. See you guys on the next HERcast.